what are the benefits that you get from Mach 7? And one of the things that I hear is you are our ability to pivot other vendors in and out, and that's actually really important. There is a vendor lock-in pain that we see in our industry where you have to have hours. It's very traumatic to take something out, one PAX vendor to another vendor, one specialty system to another specialty system. And technology is evolving really quickly. And so organizations that want to make modernization decisions want to make sure that they create the ability to make that pivot by having a strong vendor neutral archive and really leaning in on that vendor neutrality where there's not lock-in, there's not, costs or issues with trying to access the data. And it's especially important when people are starting to look at things like the cloud and AWS. There's some organizations that went quickly into the cloud and then were in a lot of pain when there was an outage. We look at some of our customers in other countries that have had some instability and, fundamentally cloud is somebody else's data center. And so creating that ability to make sure that there's, hybrid approaches available that people keep their options open to keep their risk exposure low, incredibly important. The other thing that's, really big for flexibility is just looking at what's happening with AI and data access. We've got a funny concept from my Epic days, being a very heavy traveler. It was sometimes more efficient and cost effective for us to charter planes to places. And people often ask, well, you fly so much, why don't you just buy a plane? Well, the answer was that you've got all different planes tailored to 5 passengers, 8 passengers, 3 passengers, long haul, short haul. The minute you buy that plane, you are locked into it. And you don't want to buy this huge jet that's going to work for everything. And that applies in imaging in the same way. It's really rare that one system will meet everyone's needs today as well as in the future. And then when you put AI and cloud into it, people want the ability to pivot. And that's one of the reasons that they come to us, is having that stable base so that they can access all of the images consistently, but still be able to try a new technology, new cameras, new equipment, and that still is a consistent offering to their end users, who, by the way, are a little bit fatigued by all of the changes in technology. And, we all heard that there's, we're not going to need radiologists. AI is going to come and replace, but I think we all know there's a shortage of radiologists. So people are competing and trying to provide an experience that's also very sensitive to stability for the end user, even in the face of making CFO decisions that are important to be cost effective.
Great point. Now, Terry, what do you think the next phase of enterprise imaging is going to look like?
It's a great question. First of all, I think more connected, more adaptable, and data utility. People are thinking about AI and they're thinking about, how do I apply AI appropriately to my population? And so the value of the data, organizing the data, is really, really important. Even outside of imaging, AI starts forcing you to think about your infrastructure and how are you going to leverage the data in the future in a different way than you might have leveraged it in the past. So we are seeing organizations looking for ways to make that imaging data available and create alternative paths to value while still maintaining good performance and flexibility at an end user level. So people are thinking more about openness. They're thinking about flexibility for the future, and they are thinking beyond the architecture of yesterday. And that, drives a lot of our decision making at Mach 7.